The stories you are about to see are real. The rewards up to $5 million are real. This is Crime Reports and Rewards with Griff Griffin and Dave Michaels, where you stay anonymous, the criminals don't.
Richmond County Sheriff's Office needs your help finding who did 2 burglaries at 2 separate businesses early Tuesday morning. Deputies were called at first to the First Stop Sunoco at 1901 Gordon Highway about 1 a.m. in the morning after an alarm went off. The store security system recorded a white or Hispanic male with a bandana over his face break and enter through the front door with what may have been a tire iron. The burglar was carrying a black trash bag but appeared to have left without disturbing or taking anything from inside, which, if true, would be really strange. Then less than 30 minutes later, an alarm went off at Fred's on Windsor Springs Road. In that case, video showed what may be described as a black male in a bandana use what appeared to be a tire iron, break that glass, and enter through that front door. That video appears to show the man leave the business with numerous boxes of cigars in a large white bag. Hey, maybe the first place didn't have his brand. Investigators are not sure if the 2 cases are related at this time. If you know who or where this white or Hispanic male may be, please call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS or text and email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you remain anonymous and unburglarized. Captain Steve Morris of the Columbia County Sheriff's Office needs your help finding the individual you see on your screen. He's a person of interest in some stolen golf carts and utility trailer thefts at businesses on Frontage Road between Wheeler Road and Bel Air Road. If you know who or where this golf cart thief or this person of interest or stolen golf carts or the stolen utility trailers may be, please call the Columbia County Sheriff's Office Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS or text and email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you remain anonymous and keep your tiny little feet from being sore by keeping your golf cart. Aiken County Sheriff's deputies are looking for 2 males who are wanted for crashing a stolen Ford truck into a home in the Hunter's Gate neighborhood of North Augusta. The stolen truck was seen leaving a residence on Silver Fox Way when a sheriff's sergeant signaled the vehicle to stop with lights and siren. The subjects refused to stop the truck and tried to outrun the patrolman. The truck left the roadway, imagine that, shortly after being signaled and struck a parked vehicle and home on the 5200 block of Silver Fox Way. 1 black male and 1 white male ran from the scene towards the back of the home they'd just run into. Bloodhounds and investigators joined the search but could not find the 2 fleeing and evading suspected felons. The pickup truck was reported stolen on Monday from the 400 block of Cherokee Drive. The photos shown here are the 2 suspects stealing the truck and fleeing police after the wreck. Know who or where they may be? Please call the Aiken County Sheriff's Office at 803-648-6811 or Crime Stoppers at 888-274-6372, where you remain anonymous and keep your truck. Richmond County Sheriff's deputies need your help finding who burglarized the J Girls Beauty Salon in the 4200 block of Windsor Springs Road in Hepzibah Monday morning. The suspect gained entry by forcing open a front side window and proceeded to steal 10 hair weaves, a stove, and an iron. All of this was valued at about $400. A lot of the guys that you see running around with those big long dreads are actually weaving hair weaves into their dreads, which is why they get these dreads to grow so big and so long so fast. So, this could be a guy that's stolen these hair weaves. Keep your eyes peeled for some missing hair weaves. Also, if somebody suddenly got an iron and some other things that can do hair weaves, and there's no reason for them to have it, it might be your man. If you think you know who or where this hair weave thief may be, please call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS, or text or email us to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you remain anonymous and keep your hair. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office is investigating an armed robbery at Lulu's Car Wash, 3129 Peach Orchard Road, just after 9 p.m. on Saturday. The victim, who was held at gunpoint, described the suspect as a black male who stood about 5'10" and weighs about 160 pounds. The suspect was wearing black pants, a black hoodie, a black mask, and black gloves, and still has nothing to wear to a robbery. A witness said the suspect displayed a handgun and took an undisclosed amount of money. The victim said the robber was so quick and confident that it was obvious this may not have been his first armed robbery, so he may be looking for someone who just got out of jail. If you think you know who or where this armed robber may be, please call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS, or text or email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you remain anonymous and unrobbed.
And now, this Crime Reports and Rewards special report.
And now, from the No Good Deed Goes Unpunished segment, the white female that you see on your screen came to us, and she really was hungry, thirsty, homeless, bug-bitten, and seemed to be in pretty bad shape. So we told her to sit inside the office, and we were going to try to find her a place to sleep and food to eat. While we told her that, we were trying to skip trace her daddy, who is Tony Wilson, who lives in the valley, and tell him that his daughter was in very bad shape and where to find her. Well, whenever she walked outside and didn't come back in a timely manner, we walked outside and found that she had stolen our silver in color Mercedes AMG. It has a sunroof, a broken rear antenna, and a black tag on the front with the Mercedes emblem. If you think you know where our Mercedes AMG or the suspect, Ashley Wilson, may be, please call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS, or text or email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you remain anonymous and keep your bins.
And now, this Crime Reports and Rewards special report.
Texas Governor Rick Perry was fingerprinted and had his mugshot taken at the Travis County Jail on Tuesday evening for asking a Democratic prosecutor to resign after she was caught driving in the bike lane with a blood alcohol level of 239%, nearly 3 times the legal limit. Jailhouse video shows her drunk, belligerent, threatening officers, kicking the door of her cell, and repeatedly trying to pull rank in the Travis County Detention Center. Perry called for Lindbergh, an elected official, to step down after her arrest. She refused, and he responded by vetoing funding for her office, which operates an ethics unit that's used by Democrats to harass Republicans. This is not the only female suspected of abusing taxpayers' trust and your money. An environmental activist that advocates breaking the law accused me and other members of the press of threatening her life. This stemmed from her making a false police report of 6 boats cut loose to slander the marina, but then had to go back and admit to those who knew that dock could not fit 6 boats and that there may have been only 1 missing boat. Because Crime Reports and Rewards looked into the false police report, she said other members of the press and I were threatening her life. She showed up very late and maybe drunk for a Port Authority meeting where I was already seated and sat across from me. Then as the meeting was ending and everyone was present, she made the slanderous accusation that the county commissioner said I was threatening her life. When I asked where that was, and she could not say, I said, that's because it does not exist. Then after she got in front of me and in my face like a drunk while I was at my place, she said to get out of her face when she was the one who got in my face like a drunk, not me. When we asked the commissioners if they said I was threatening her life, no county commissioner came forth saying they said any such thing. The Corps of Engineers has also asked her to stop using their name. If you know anything about this public corruption where tax users spend your money to hurt you and others who have done nothing wrong, please call Attorney General Sam Owens at 404-656-3300 or email and text your tips to agolens@law.ga.gov, where you remain anonymous and stop your own tax money from being used to commit crimes.
And now, this Crime Reports and Rewards special report.
Although our heart goes out to those who liked Michael Brown, we can now confirm from two local St. Louis sources that police officer Darren Wilson suffered facial fractures during his confrontation with deceased Michael Brown. Officer Wilson clearly feared for his life during the incident that led to the shooting death of Brown. This was after Michael Brown and his accomplice Dorian Johnson robbed a local Ferguson convenience store. Local St. Louis sources says Wilson suffered an orbital blowout fracture to the eye socket. This comes from a source within the prosecuting attorney's office and confirmed by the St. Louis County Police. A blowout fracture is a fracture of one or more of the bones surrounding the eye and is commonly referred to as an orbital floor fracture.
I'm Dave Michaels with this week's edition of Spot Crime, where we highlight crimes reported in the CSRA. We've had 53 assaults around the CSRA. They took place on the 1700 block of Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, the 1300 block of Cherry Avenue, the 2300 block of DeVry Street, the 1800 block of Cooney Circle, the 3900 block of Deborah Street, Old Waynesboro Road, Pleasant Home Road at Treburton Trail, 2400 block of Yates Drive, the 2400 block of Peach Orchard Road, the 2400 block of Jumper Drive, the 2600 block of Barclay Street, the 2400 block of Amsterdam Drive, the 700 block of Broad Street, the 2300 block of Heritage Court, Fox Trace Drive, the 2400 block of Southgate Drive, the 2700 block of Margaret Court, the 2100 block of Lumpkin Road, the 600 block of Bransford Road, the 2000 block of First Avenue, the 2100 block of Silverdale Road, Milledgeville Road, the 2300 block of Amsterdam Drive, the 3200 block of Wrightsboro Road, the 100 block of Skinner Road, the 1100 block of Azalea Drive, the 3100 block of River Oak Road, the 2700 block of Smith Drive, the 500 block of Broad Street, the 2100 block of Helpsome McBeam Road, the 400 block of East Boundary Street, the 600 block of Sea Owl Drive, the 3400 block of Wrightsboro Road, the 3100 block of Washington Road, the 2100 block of Bayville Road, the 3700 block of Vera Drive, the 1300 block of Beeman Street, the 3500 block of Kamak Drive, the 200 block of East Telfair Street, the 1600 block of McCalkey Street, the 1600 block of the Gordon Highway, the 2500 block of Peach Orchard Road, the 3500 block of Windsor Springs Road, the 2800 block of Deansbridge Road, the 900 block of Molly Pond Road, Bath-Peterson Road, the 2900 block of Wellington Street, the 1600 block of McCalkey Street, the 2100 block of 2nd Avenue, the 500 block of Logan's Way, the 3100 block of Peach Orchard Road, the 1500 block of Wooten Road, and the 3500 block of Windsor Springs Road. 30 burglaries around the CSRA. They took place on the 1500 block of McCalkey Street, the 3700 block of Beacon Hill Drive, the 2300 block of Tobacco Road, the 4200 block of James Street, the 2300 block of Allen Avenue, the 2200 block of Rozier Road, the 3500 block of Edgeworth Drive, the 100 block of Milledgeville Road, the 1100 block of Huntington Drive, the 1700 block of Hicks Street, the 1500 block of Bertrand Court, the 2800 block of Ingleside Drive, the 2500 block of Redoubt Circle, the 2900 block of Glen Hills Drive, the 5000 block of Old Waynesboro Road, the 2400 block of Windsor Springs Road, the 2700 block of Ingleside Drive, the 2100 block of Helpsama McBeam Road, the 400 block of Sandbar Ferry Road, the 3900 block of Deborah Street, the 2000 block of Nanmart Court, the 100 block of Watkins Street, the 2500 block of Hanover Street, the 2800 block of Beacon Drive, the 1900 block of Powell Road, the 2900 block of Willis Foreman Road, the 3100 block of Melba Drive, the 1700 block of Rush Drive, the 2900 block of DeHalla Drive, and the 3500 block of Windsor Springs Road. 7 robberies around the CSRA. They took place on the 1200 block of Ellis Street, the 100 block of 4th Street, the 1800 block of Watkins Street, the 3300 block of Wrightsboro Road, the 1700 block of Starnes Street, the 2400 block of Dublin Drive, and Meadowbrook Drive. 2 charged of damage to property on the 2500 block of Cross Creek Road and the 2400 block of Amsterdam Drive. 2 charged of reckless conduct on the 2500 block of Andorra Drive and the 1700 block of Sibley Road. If you know anything about these crimes or any other crimes, call our toll-free tip line at 1-800-222-TIPS or email your tip to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you may remain anonymous and may get a cash reward. And now, this Crime Reports and Rewards special report.
In case you haven't noticed, automatic license plate readers are now everywhere. We're happy the good guys use them, but we've seen other cars with them that are not cops. What are the laws about non-Leos using tag readers? We've seen a Volkswagen Beetle with them and another car reading tags, so we researched and to our amazement found just about anybody can buy a tag reader and just start reading everybody's tags. The technology has outrun law, so they haven't had time to correctly regulate it. So even though there is a question about it being legal or not, that's what they're doing. An early private sector mobile tag reader has applications for vehicle repossession and recovery. Although the application of tag readers by private companies to collect information from privately owned vehicles or collect it from private property, for example, driveways, has become an issue of sensitivity and public debate. Other tag readers use parking lots for parking lot enforcement and revenue collection from individuals who are delinquent on city or taxes or fines. You can go to our Augusta Crime Stoppers Facebook page and let us know how you feel about your movements being traced. Are you okay with strangers knowing where you go, when you got there, when you left, when you returned, and how long your car is and will be sitting or driving or moving anywhere? Do you think it'll be abused like other things are? Go to Facebook. Let us know. Edgefield County Police report that a dozen or more vehicles have been broken into Monday night at the Stevens Mill neighborhood near Highway 25 in Edgefield County. Victims woke up to their car doors still being open and their personal ID and things stolen, so anyone could use their identity to buy things, or worse. Victims say they feel violated. One victim said he thought his neighborhood would never have a problem with crime, but now is rethinking that position after his wife and daughter's car were both rifled through. One victim shared that if burglars have done this just feet from the front door, what would happen if they came into the house? South Carolina gun laws make it hard for a family to defend itself, and if they did, somebody might go to jail. Police say that at this time there are no suspects in any of these cases. If you know who or where these car burglars may be, please call the police or Crime Stoppers at 800-CRIME-SC, where you remain anonymous and unviolated. A new technique that's being used by criminals is called sliding. Unfortunately, many of us will leave our cars unlocked while standing at a gas pump. Sliders will pull alongside your vehicle and appear to be getting gas, but instead, the passenger of the vehicle exits and then low crawls to your unlocked door. Suspects then enter your vehicle, having access to your purse, your cell phone, your briefcase, or whatever you leave in plain view. In an effort to avoid being a victim of this type of criminal activity, please take the following precautions. When exiting your vehicle, always lock your doors and keep your keys in your pocket. If you believe someone is trying to target you, then immediately activate your car alarm to draw attention. Never leave your valuables sitting in the front seat where someone can walk by and grab them off the front seat or through an open window. Always keep a constant watch on everything around you, especially cars that pull into the pumps while you're getting fuel. Always park in a well-lit area so everyone can see you and you can see anyone walking around you. Routinely look around the surrounding area and make sure that no one can easily walk up to you without being noticed. If someone approaches you that you don't know, quickly enter your vehicle and lock the doors so you can safely exit the area. Make sure to use the above listed techniques to protect you and your family. It's also important to make sure that we share this type of crime prevention information with our teenage drivers that often find themselves needing to stop for fuel or who will be heading away to college at the end of this school year. There are at least still 2 car burglars that are still on the loose in this area doing this. If you know who or where they may be, please call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office, Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS, or email and text your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you remain anonymous and keep your stuff. Richmond County Sheriff's deputies report a woman has been shot. It happened on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard near Olive Road just after 5 a.m. Monday. When deputies arrived on scene, they found a woman shot in the lower right leg. The victim says she was shot after being approached by 4 unknown black males in a dark-colored Pontiac Sunfire. The victim told officers they attempted to rob her, and when she ran, they shot her. If you know of 4 black males that run around together in a dark-colored Pontiac Sunfire, please call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office, Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS, or text and email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you remain anonymous and unshot. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office is seeking information on the murder of Willie Harris Aiken, Jr. Willie Harris Aiken, Jr. was shot and killed at his residence at 413 Colorado Street on 1/13/2014. We asked several people if they knew that a murderer or murderers were still walking among us, and they told us they didn't even know anything about the murder of Willie Aiken. They said things like, well, if he wasn't out running around on the wrong side of town, he wouldn't have got murdered. Willie Aiken was shot at his own home. If he had better friends, he wouldn't have got murdered. Willie Aiken had wonderful friends and family. I didn't even know he was murdered. They'll eventually find out who murdered him. Oh yeah, you didn't even know he was murdered because the news media thought everything in the world was more important than keeping you and yours from being the next murder victims. Murderers who have murdered don't have a lot to lose by not murdering again, because that's just how they roll. So everybody knows what's happening in Hollywood. What are the latest football scores? And even who won the lottery? But very few know that their door could be kicked in at any moment, and you and your family violated or even murdered. So what can you do? Call your local TV stations and ask they start sharing Crime Stoppers 800-222-TIPS line. And what murderers or rapists or whatever violent and dangerous criminals we are trying to stop. If you go to Facebook, search for Augusta Crime Stoppers and like us. We'll send you pictures and details of all the bad guys that we have rewards out on. Since 2010, we have quietly paid out cash rewards to people like you who looked at Augusta Crime Stoppers Facebook page, saw the bad guys, called them in, and have a 100 times better chance of getting a large cash reward in just hours by calling in bad guys and murderers than you do of winning the lottery. But the best news is, if you get these murderers from all these unsolved murders off the street, you and your loved ones are in a much better position of not being murdered. If you think you know who or where who murdered Willie Aiken may be, please call Homicide Sergeant Paul Godden or Investigator Walter Garrison or any other on-duty Violent Crimes Division investigator at 706-821-1045. Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS or text or email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you remain anonymous and unmurdered.
And now, this Crime Reports and Rewards special report.
And now, a story about a brutal beating of a jogger. Dallas, Georgia. The Paulding County Sheriff's Office has set up a reward fund and helps to generate leads about who viciously attacked a jogger on the Silver Comet Trail. A 42-year-old woman was severely beaten and she was found by a passing bicyclist on July 29th. No arrests have been made yet. The Paulding County Sheriff's Captain Ashley Henson tells WSB Radio that authorities hope the reward will prompt a response from someone who knows something about the attack. Henson says the woman is still in a great deal of pain and hasn't been able to give detectives many clues about a suspect other than describing him as being a white male with dark hair. A reward fund has been established at the Bank of North Georgia in Hiram. If you think you know who or where this vicious attacker may be, please call your local police. Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS or text and email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you remain anonymous and unbeaten.
Crime Stoppers would like to show our appreciation to Corner Lot Towing for helping stop crime in the Middle Georgia region. You've been watching Crime Reports and Rewards with Griff Griffin and Dave Michaels, where you stay anonymous, the criminals don't. If you have any information on these or any other crimes, call our national tip line at 1-800-222-TIPS. Well, you'll stay anonymous and could get a cash reward. You can see this or any other episode of Crime Reports and Rewards on the web anytime at crimereportsandrewards.com. Crime Reports and Rewards is a production of Michaels Media.